Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Latour, author of Kingdom Soulmates. In today's video, we are going to explore the outer reflection and the inner resemblance of who mankind was originally designed to represent. We'll be diving deep into the revelation of God's design, uncovering both the spirit and the soul aspects that reflect Him from the very beginning. In the last video, I shared how male and female together reveal the full image of God, that humanity was never meant to reflect Him in isolation, but in unity. We explored how the one flesh design points back to God's original intent. In this video, we're going to go even deeper. We'll uncover the mystery of mankind's outer reflection and inner resemblance, what it means for the soul and the spirit to mirror God Himself. And let me tell you, once you see this revelation, it could completely transform the way you understand your identity, your relationships, and your destiny in God. This isn't just knowledge, it's the kind of truth that can shake the very foundations of how you see creation itself. But here's the question. What if the image you've been living from isn't the one God originally designed? What if the real you has been hidden all along? Let's begin back in Genesis at the moment when God created man. The word man in Hebrew is loaded with mystery and hidden layers. But before we uncover that, we need to pause and look at something even greater, the very word used for God. Because inside those letters is a revelation of his spirit and his soul, and it sets the foundation for everything that follows. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. The word translated God here is Elohim. And let's break each letter down from left to right as it reads in Hebrew. We begin with Aleph, the symbol of strength, unity, and leadership. It reveals God as the first, the strong one, and the head of all things. And next is Lamed, pictured as a shepherd's staff. It represents authority, guidance, and teaching. This shows God as the shepherd who leads his creation. Then we have He, the symbol of breath and revelation. It points to God as the one who reveals himself, the one who gives life through his spirit. Following that is Yod, the smallest letter, yet powerful. It represents the hand, action, and creative work of God. Yet here we see his hand stretched out, forming and sustaining all things. And finally, the Mem, the final Mem, pictured as water, the womb, or even hidden depths. It speaks of mystery in life and the unseen realm of which creation flows. So when we put this together, we have Aleph, the strong and eternal source. We have Lamed, the one who shepherds and leads. We have He, the one who reveals. Yod, the power and creation. And Mem, as the final form of Mem, is the hidden depths of the waters of which life flows. Altogether, Elohim is not just one name. It's a revelation of God's spirit and his soul interwoven in perfect unity and design. Now let's look at this from another angle, another dimension. The word Elohim isn't just a title or description of who God is. It actually encodes layers of his being, revealing how he manifests both inner essence, the spirit, and his outer expression, the very character or soul of who he is. Now let's go ahead and take the letter Aleph. It represents the spirit of God's unity, the invisible source. This is the spirit dimension, eternal and unseen, but yet all powerful. Aleph anchors us in the truth that before anything was formed, God's spirit was already there, the unseen reality behind all of creation. Then we have the Lamed, the staff of authority, representing the soul as guidance, teaching and shepherding. It's the soul dimension of God, God's will, his mind that is expressed in relational authority. And then we have Hey, the symbol of breath and revelation. This returns us to the spirit dimension. God breathed out life, unveiling his presence. Then we have the Yod, the symbol of his divine hand in motion, the action, and that creative spark. This is the soul dimension, God's works, his actions, and his expression in and through creation. Finally, the mem, representing waters and the hidden depths, the womb of mystery. This completes in the spirit dimension the eternal deep in which life flows. So we have Aleph of spirit origin, Lamed is the soul authority, Hey is spirit breath, Yod is the soul action, and Mem is the spirit depth, the womb. Do you see it? Do you see that? Elohim itself beats like a heartbeat. Spirit, soul, spirit, soul, spirit. Perfectly united. It's God revealing himself as both the unseen essence and the expressed character woven together in one name. That means that Elohim already contains within his very name the integration of the soul and the spirit. He doesn't just have aspects of it, he is the perfect unity. So Genesis 1 and 27 tells us that man created in his image, Taslem, and after his likeness, Demu. The image speaks of the outer reflection, just like the letters of his name reveal his character. And then we have likeness, which speaks of that inner resemblance, the soul and the spirit together, mirroring the very being of God himself. So when Elohim created mankind, can you tell I just get so excited about this? I mean, it's so exciting. I hope you're excited. When Elohim created mankind, the structure of his name reveals why man is both soul and spirit, the mind, will, and emotions, and the spirit, the breath, and the eternal essence. The plurality in Elohim means that we were made to reflect God. Not in one part only, but in the union of the soul and spirit, bringing the body into fullness of that one flesh, male and female, as God originally designed. In other words, the Hebrew letters of Elohim themselves testify that God's own soul, the expression and spirit, the essence are all interwoven. And that's exactly what humanity was designed to carry and reflect. In Genesis 1:26 and 27, the two key Hebrew words reveal how mankind was designed to mirror God. Let us make man in our image, Teslam, and after our likeness, Demu. The word image, Teslam, comes from a root meaning shadow, outline, or external form. Its connotation is the outer reflection, what is visible, the shape that corresponds to something greater. It's like the shadow cast by a substance. In application, this means that the soul and the body of mankind are the visible reflection of God's nature, expressing his authority, his character, and his creativity in the world. So think of Taslim as the outer reflection of God's soul, his mind, will, and his character expressed through human faculties. Then we come to likeness, the Hebrew word demut from the root DMH, and I'm not going to pronounce that right now in Hebrew. It means to be like, to resemble, to imitate. The connotation here is the inner resemblance, not just the shape, but the very essence or quality. In application, this means that the spirit of man resembles God's spirit, capable of communion with him, bearing eternity within him, and reflecting his unseen nature. So, Daimyu is the inner resemblance of God's spirit, the invisible capacity to mirror his holiness, his eternity, and his life. So together, the soul and the spirit reflect Elohim's own being because his name, as we saw earlier, carries both dimensions, soul and spirit. God's original design was that male and female are joined together. The image to Slim is completed in visible unity. At the same time, the likeness Dimu is revealed through their inner shared spirit. Together, them becoming a living reflection of God's own plurality in the unity, Elohim Himself. This is the mystery of that one flesh, soulmates, as God created them to be. Tislim becoming the outer reflection of the soulmates together, their visible unity revealing God's character in the world. Demu becomes the inner resemblance of the soulmates together, their shared spirit mirroring his eternal essence. The reunion of the one flesh restores what was separated. And just as Elohim is one, yet plural, humanity in its fullness, the male and female, the soul and spirit reveals his image. Elohim's very name encodes both spirit and soul, Teslem representing the soul, the outer reflection, Demu, representing the spirit, the inner resemblance. And when male and female are joined together, we see the complete one flesh revelation of God's image. But here's I want you to catch. This revelation isn't just found in the letters or the words or even just the translations. It is inspired. It's woven into the very fabric of the ancient Hebrew letters themselves. Even the pictographs of these letters confirm and solidify this truth. The pictographs are powerful because they don't just spell a word, they paint a prophetic picture of its meaning. Let's begin with the word taslem, representing the soul, translated into image, shadow, and outer reflection. We find three letters in taslem. We've got tasad, lamud, and mem. Sad pictures a man on his side or a fishhook, symbolizing the hunt, desire, pursuit, and need. Lamed is the shepherd's staff, representing authority, guidance, and teaching. And then we have the mem, is water and the womb, pointing to chaos, flow, hidden depths, and even the nations. When we bring these letters together, the picture that emerges is powerful. An image or shadow is always the outer trace of something greater. In the same way, the soul and the body of mankind serve as the visible projection of God's nature. This emphasizes soul, the mind, will, and emotions, because it is through the soul that God's reflection becomes visible in the world. Now let's look at the word demut, translated likeness. The letters are dalet, mem, vav, and tav. Dalet is a door symbolizing access or a pathway or entry. Mem, again, is the water or the womb, pointing to hidden depths, flow, and origin. Vav is a nail or hook, representing connection, joining, or securing. Tav is the cross or covenant mark, signifying completion, truth, and seal. When we bring these together, the picture reveals the inner resemblance, a door opening into hidden depths, joined and secured by covenant, sealed with the mark of truth. This is the spirit of man, designed to resemble God's spirit, capable of communion with Him, bearing eternity within Him, carrying the unseen nature. It emphasizes the spirit because it is through the Spirit of God that holiness, life, and eternal essence are mirrored within us. Now let's look at the soul versus the spirit visual of this. Taslim looks like a shadow or an outline. What others see, the soul reflecting through the body. And then we have the demu, which is the door hidden into covenant, what only God sees, the spirit dimension. So, in simple terms, the image, Taslim, is the shadow and the reflection, the soul dimension. And likeness, the demu, is the doorway, the covenant, and the spirit dimension. But hey, guys, this is only the foundation. In the next teaching, we'll step into the one flesh revelation, the mystery of how God formed man, breathed spirit into him, and then revealed the woman. That's in Genesis 2 and 7. And within this unveiling lies a hidden key, the union of Yah and fire, a design that was encoded from the very beginning, waiting to be revealed. So here's the question. What really happened when God breathed into Adam and then drew out the woman? Could this be the key to unlocking the one flesh revelation, the living image of Yah and fire? If this stirred something in you and you want to go deeper, I do invite you to check out the Ministry of Advocates of Heaven. My Kingdom Soulmates course includes my book and is a powerful journey of soul deliverance designed to help you step into the fullness of God's original design with that Kingdom Soulmate. You can also find all the details at advocatesofheaven.com, and any links you need are probably going to be below. And if you'd like to watch the rest of the teachings in this series, you'll find them in the playlist called Kingdom Soulmates One Flesh Revelation right here on my channel. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. God bless each and every one of you. And I hope to see you on the next video.